Hey guys, welcome back for another video. Again, this is Megan. Welcome back. I am the woman's perspective of the coaching. And today we're going to be going over, if I submit, does that make me a doormat? This is a wonderful topic to go over. And I know a lot of the Christian community struggle with this because it's like you don't know how to approach it. You don't know if you should be too submissive to where it might appear to be a doormat, or you don't know at what level to set boundaries and standards. It's a very difficult thing to approach. And this is a really good topic that we're going to go over. So, basically, submission is a two-way street in all relationships. It is not a matter of competition or one upmanship, but rather an actual mutual respect and support. It takes courage to submit, especially in the face of potential rejection or judgment. But submitting does not make you a doormat. It makes you a strong and confident person who knows your self worth. Okay. So we know that the Bible even talks about wives submitting to their husbands. And again, just because you submit to your husband, wives, does not mean that you let him treat you as a doormat. We should all have standards. We should all know that we shouldn't be treated as a doormat or a stepping stool. We need to have a voice. But just because we have a voice doesn't mean that we can't submit. Submission is often seen as a sign of weakness, or submissiveness can also be too much vulnerability for people. And if you go over like attachment styles, avoidance especially, they don't want to show much vulnerability or emotion. So then that can actually cause them to not want to submit. Okay, so submitting is a really healthy thing to do, but a lot of people don't know how to approach it. Submission requires great strength and vulnerability. It takes strength to trust someone enough to let go of control and surrender yourself to their decision making. It takes vulnerability to admit that you don't have all the answers and are willing to seek guidance from others. So, again, a lot of us have so much pride that we don't know how to be able to do that. We don't know how to be able to trust somebody enough to let our guard down and be vulnerable with them. And this is a very hard thing to do. And again, with attachment styles, especially people that are avoidance in childhood, their emotions were suppressed for so long that they don't know how to express themselves healthily. Healthily, they don't know how to express emotions. They don't know how to be vulnerable with somebody because they don't want to appear weak because as a child, their emotions were suppressed. Okay. Doormats do not have feelings, so speak up. Submitting does not mean that you lose your voice or your ability to stand up for yourself. It's quite the opposite. Submission allows for open communication and compromise in a relationship. It shows that you value the other person's perspective and you're willing to listen and consider their thoughts and their opinions. Now, see, guys, this is something that a lot of people don't want to do. A lot of people want to be heard themselves, but they don't want to hear others. Okay. This is something that's very difficult for people to do. So, again, just because if you're submitting to somebody doesn't make you a doormat. It's actually great strength to do so. Remember, submission is not about winning or losing, but rather finding a balance and working together toward a common goal in any relationship, not just romantic relationships, but relationships of all kinds, family relationships, friendships, co-workers. Submission leads to accountability for growth and self improvement, self reflection. Submitting to others is like building blocks of trust in that relationship. You're going to actually have a better relationship with people, not to mention, you're actually going to become well, I should say, securely attached to people in relationships. You're going to become a secure individual, which is what we all want. Okay. The relationship does not have to be like a romantic, like a father son relationship is a healthy, helpful example. As the father submits his desires for the son, it grows the frequency of trust in the relationship. Vice versa, as the son grows older, the submission of his wants to honor his father's legacy solidifies the relationship. Okay. So submission is not about giving up or becoming a doormat. It is about building strong and healthy relationships with others while also fostering self growth and improvement. So don't be afraid to submit, embrace it as an act of courage and trust in your relationships. So, guys, something that is very hard is the balance to this. How do you do this without appearing too weak? How do you do this without someone taking advantage of you? This can be challenging. You have to be able to have your own set of standards. I tell people the best thing I would suggest is make a list. Make a list and write down your standards. And basically, this is what you would communicate to the other party. So if they do something that's not okay, you put up that boundary saying, this doesn't work for me. Okay. And this could be in any relationship, it's not just romantically involved. So, what I would suggest is having a conversation. And when you have that conversation, you then are building standards with the person. And if they don't respect it, that's when you hold them accountable. So it is completely possible to be able to have a good relationship with people while having boundaries, setting your standards, not being a doormat, and also building and growing together, becoming better, self improvement, self reflection, becoming a better version of you. There's so much to grow from this. But just because you submit and you're vulnerable and you show emotion doesn't make you a doormat, doesn't make you a stepping stool. And if somebody's doing something you're not okay with, you can easily call them out and tell them how you feel and grow together. You want to be able to have tough, hard conversation early to be able to establish you guys' standards and boundaries together so you then can grow together and you can learn from each other and learn about each other. So I hope that this video was helpful and that it gave you some good insight on how submission works, because it is a godly concept for us to submit to others. And honestly, it is a challenging thing to do, but can be done if you have the right wisdom regarding it. So I hope that this video helped. Again, my name is Megan. I am the woman's perspective of the coaching. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.